Right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday's sharing session. My name is Vivian Chong. Before we start, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today on our Saturday night sharing session about what ProppyApp is. I believe your buddy has already told you a little bit about us. If you're here for the first time, we would also like to encourage you to like and subscribe to our social media channels, our Facebook, YouTube, and Podbean as well. Tonight, I am joined by two experienced Proppians to share with us about ProppyApp. We have one of our transformers, as we call them, as they helped transform businesses into the digital world. They are helping others to build their brands amidst the pandemic. So we have with us Mr. Sean Gooi. Hi, Sean.
Hey, good evening, Vivian. Happy evening, everyone.
And we also have one of our co-founders of ProppyApp here tonight. So I have to do this, because he needs this. Our most incredible,
Yes, more.
yes,
Bodacious.
awesomest,
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
bodacious, most amazing, Mr. Evan Ngow. Hi, Evan.
Hi, it's so good to have you back hosting. We kind of missed you the
Thank
last time
you.
as well. And how's your after your surgery?
Yeah,
So good.
I've broken a leg.
So I cannot say break a leg tonight. Literally,
yes,
so you're gonna break two legs
literally.
tonight.
That's
So thank you so
Exactly.
much. Yeah, it's so good to be back.
Thank you.
good to have you back. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. To all of our other co-founders who are listening in today, you guys are definitely amazing too. Okay, so well, the title for tonight is why Proppy. So tonight, in this about an hour's time, we hope to share with you insights into our technology. First of all, we're going to share with you what is driving Proppy and the innovation that we will bring to the property tech market. We'll also share insights into our market proposition and our differentiating factors and why we believe that we are unique. And finally, we will end with the introduction to the team that's behind this amazing transformation. So as you may know, we are now living in a digital world, right? In what the World Economic Forum calls as the fourth industrial revolution, So who would have thought, right, that in less than 2 decades, since the boom of the internet and the www in the 2000s, our world is now at the palm of our hands, right? It's really amazing how our lives it's now everything is compacted into a 6-inch screen, our mobile phones, right?
Yeah, look, Vivian, we do almost everything on our mobile phones, right?
Yes.
It's not just a communication tool anymore. I mean, the first thing, if you go out, the first thing you do is you need to scan your My Sejahtera app.
Yes, exactly.
You need to buy things online. You need to pay your parking online.
Oh yes.
And the funnest part of all, right, during the pandemic is you need to navigate your way through busy streets, avoiding the police roadblocks.
Yes, the roadblocks.
I do that all the
exactly.
time.
Yeah, during the pandemic lockdown, I mean,
Exactly.
did I just
never
say that
drive.
out loud?
Yeah, never drive on Federal Highway, whatever it is. Just avoid Federal Highway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think many of us here, right, really understand the power of mobile phones. But the key question is, how many of us truly know the immense potential of the technology that drives these, what we say, amazing technological revolution?
Yes. Do you know that when you activate the GPS and location setting on our phones, you'll be able to track where you are in the morning, afternoon, and night, and even able to identify the places that you've been in the afternoon, so it knows that, oh, you're at your office. It knows exactly where your office is.
It even knows where I last parked my car, okay?
Exactly. It will know where your home is. So with the power of AI, the apps in our phones like Google, it will be able to study your even click behaviors, buying behaviors, and even provide you with suggestions and recommendations to you.
That's what you do all the time in Shopee, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
I know
I
know you very well. You know recommendation, buy things online. That's what you
Yes.
do all the time, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's so funny, isn't it? That even with all this, yet don't you think that it's odd, that even with so much technological and digital revolution that we've had right now, it still isn't possible. it's not possible to see what every house in your area is worth online, or even know the exact value of our own house. Now, as an industry player, okay, as a transformer, as a property agent industry, in this industry, isn't this why is this a big issue for you, Shane?
Yeah, and this sometimes I cringe, right? I cringe as a professional, as a property agent, when I'm meeting my clients. The first question I think all of us agents get asked is, even if the person is buying a house or selling a house, is what is the value of my property, right? That's the first question that they ask, is what's the value? And as agents, it's really challenging for us because it's either you find out the information of what the neighboring house was being sold for, you need to give a call to the valuers, you need to ask the banks, or you can even check on the various potential platforms. But at the end of the day, the reality is you won't exactly get the right pricing, right? And that is the current situation. And for me, the transparency of the information is key, right? We're talking about the 21st century here. And if technology isn't able to enable us to be more informed, then what is?
Oh, yes. And that's why ProppyApp is here. The basic principle behind Proppy is to help our users to be informed. So using the power of AI, we help users on our platforms become better informed buyers and sellers. We're disrupting the property tech market, and our vision is to revolutionize the property industry to be the world's leading property-based all-in-one portal. Well, if you want to know more about your property, you have to key your property into the system, okay, and let the AI do its work for you. And this is in line with our ethos of being informed.
Yeah, I think, Vivian, I mean, for me as an agent, for owners always have the option of choosing, for example, key property details as if you're putting it up for sale. Right? You can key it in and you can see whether the system's able to provide you more information. And this goes in line with the Proppy philosophy, right? And I think you'll be hearing this a lot tonight, that everything is up for sale at the right price.
Yes, but Sean, isn't it, I think a lot of people will be asking, what if I don't want to list my house up for sale, So why should I key in my details?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So here's how, where it really gets really, really interesting and exciting, okay? Other than being informed, what value would you have if you key in your details into the system? I mean, that's the first question everyone asks, right? So ultimately, you might never know someone somewhere out there, for example, let's say, maybe like a long lost lover.
Somewhere out there. I don't know. Where did that voice come from? I don't know.
You just want to show off your voice. That's it, okay? But it coming back to the lover, the lost lover, right? The thing is, you might be looking for a house just like yours, and for example, and if the price is right, I mean, this house could be your dream house. It could be a dream house that you're currently living in already, or this house could actually be something that's really sentimental value to you, right?
Yeah.
So are you really telling me that if you have the right price, if you have someone who's going to give you an offer, that you wouldn't consider it if the price was right?
I will lah. Of course I will lah. Even if I got it, I bought it with my boyfriend or what.
Or
my
boyfriend?
ex-boyfriend, or ex-husband, I don't know. But
so actually,
of course, I will still consider,
So just now when I say lover, I'm not far off then, right? I'm not far off. Okay, so you're gonna be hearing us talk about this same point over and over again. And this is what we mean when we say everything is up for sale at the right price.
So I guess
Yes.
we can talk a little bit more about our first feature that we want to introduce, lah. All right.
Mm.
So I just want to talk a bit about our first unique feature that we are actually putting out into the market, which is our what we call as the dream home wish list. So remember now when you were looking for your house with your ex-boyfriend, how was it
Yeah.
like at that point in time? You
You
know,
thought it would be like fairy tale, right? Oh my goodness.
well, I guess
It's
some of
not
us,
something worth
well,
it's not it's not.
I'm sure you
I
know
don't
we
want to
took.
recall those memories,
Oh,
my
I'm
goodness.
sure you wouldn't, I'm sure. But it's not the just the hours, is who you spent it with, right? But I guess it's also, like you. I mean, some of us would have spent hours just
Yeah.
for the dream property,
Days,
driving
months
around,
even.
looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think at this day and age, but why would we need to do that when we can actually have AI or even
Mm.
somebody else to do it for you? It's not our job to look for this property, because in this day and age with AI, with data technology, we should let someone else, quote unquote, someone else, do the job for us. And
Mm-hmm.
that is why we have this dream home wish list, where we can key in all the parameters that we want. So, for example, if you want to live near near a lake lah, or near some, I mean, basically you can put it on into a filter, and that's what we are doing as well. So with this, you can, whatever budget you have. So this will be, if you were a buyer, and this will be a buyer-driven initiative. You can actually put in your budget, whether it's a positive filter or a negative filter. And this is going to be very interesting. For example,
Mm.
you want your house where you want your house near LRT station, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want a
Near a
double-story
shopping mall.
house near a shopping mall, 4 bedroom, 5 bed bathroom,
Yeah.
near a park, near a
Mm-hmm.
school, or negative filter, don't want near a school, don't
Don't
want near a
want to near a
hospital,
school.
don't want
Yeah,
near an
no.
airport, or don't want to be near a place where you last time went to this lake before, and I know, and as a buyer, you can set your own parameters, in the sense that you can put it
Mm.
out what you want. Then the system will also trigger us to tick our mandatory items. What is it that you must have? For example,
Mm.
and also key in a certain percentage of matching, say for example up to 60%. Well, I mean, you can't have 100% match, and also give it some leeway,
Mm.
and as easy as a Facebook posting, you can just send this post to our dream home wishlist e-bulletin board. All right. So
Mm.
and this is what happens when you post this into a dream home wish list and this e-bulletin board, and what happened first, the AI function in our system, which we call ProppyApp, our
Yes,
French
Pierre.
AI butler Pierre, will search within the listings in our marketplace. All right, and we will find the best match to what we want. No,
Mm.
we don't need to do anything. ProppyApp will come back with a listing that already is in the system that matches our requirements for us to browse. Okay, so that's the
Mm.
first thing. Two, ProppyApp will also search the agents in our system, to look for any of their listing that fits into this wish list, and also pings these agents to tell them that someone is looking for a property that is, whether it's in your area or whether or not it's in your listings, that will be able to match, this wish list as well as your listings. So isn't it wonderful that you don't need to do anything? Your agents themselves, they will also be pinged, and then can also, go and, grab for this job. And thirdly, remember when you say that, and this is where it's exciting. Remember the owner that may
Mm.
or may not have the intention of listing their property for sale. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But they also key in their property data as if, right, they want to list in the marketplace. You say that, isn't it? As if,
Yes.
because
Mm-mm.
once their property is in the system, right? So ProppyApp will also go and scout for these owners, search the properties in the system and ping these owners and say, hey, you know what? Hello. There's someone who's also looking for a house, that
Mm.
fits your house, is in their wish list. It's
Mm-mm.
exactly like your house. Now, do you want to make them an offer? Or do you want them to
Mm-hmm.
give you an offer, to make you an offer? All right. So this is why it's interesting. Because, and then if you want to now, so what the system does is that then you can opt to beep. This is an in-app chat that we have in our system. We call Proppy Beep. You know, when you beep, beep, beep.
Yep.
So you beep this potential buyer and potentially open negotiations with them. You know, but we also believe in choices. All right. So sometimes, like for example, and allowing people to do what they want to do. Say, for example, like some people don't really want to get disturbed, correct? You don't wish to be disturbed. You know, you can also opt
Yep.
out, and that is why they want to they don't want to list in the marketplace yet. And they can also deactivate this particular beep function, because otherwise they can just be disturbed, be beeped. But we allow you to also activate one very interesting feature within our modules, which is what we call as a make an offer. So this make an offer is interesting because it is like a lock feature. So buyers who see this listing, and if they see this MAU, that's why we make an offer, because hari mau, right? So this MAU feature, if they see that you also activate this, which means that they can take one step further by unlocking this MAU feature, either through staking through our Proppy Jam or pay a small fee, that will allow you, once you click this offer and then you say, okay, I want to connect, then it will open up the beep that you can now beep the owner. So now it means, yes, now it means that for the owner, you can also have one layer of protection, This gives the owner greater privacy, control to them, who can contact them, for them to know whether or not these people are genuine, these are bona fide buyers, right? And I'm sure you don't want to give out your contact number, Vivian, to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, isn't it? Right. So this one you can protect your privacy. You don't have to give your number. Although I have your number, but you can just give this number. You can give this. You don't need to give this number, but you just use the in-app chat. They can still contact you. Now, let's say now that you have a potential buyer already, all right? So they beat you already, and you say, hey, okay. I want to make an offer, and I want to see the house. And now you want to view the house, but now suddenly, your house is in Penang, and like say, my house in Penang, right?
Yes, Ivan.
And I can't do anything. What do I do?
Well, Ivan, that's why what our next awesome feature in the marketplace can help these homeowners with, okay? So we call it the Grab a Guide e-bulletin board. So for owners who, for whatever reasons, I know they are not able to conduct home viewing to their potential buyers, because they may be out of town, or like what you say, we are now under strict lockdown SOPs, right? They can't go back to Penang, so they can post this job, the house viewing job, right, onto our Get a Guide e-bulletin board. Okay, so this will get our registered agents on our platform to grab these jobs. So, but we know that dealing with properties isn't like going to the sundry shop, to buy your petty goods, or on Lazada or Shopee for a couple of hundreds, or hundreds of dollars, But property and real estate deals with millions of dollars. It can go into millions, right? So therefore, we need to ensure that these agents are verified via a thorough KYC, a know your customer process. So all the agents that intend to transact on our platform needs to be a qualified or and certified real estate negotiator. So this ensures that we create a credible trust net of verified agents on ProppyApp, so that this gives our homeowners and users greater confidence with the agents that they will be dealing with. So I also find that this feature is especially useful for newer inexperienced rent agents, right? To maybe not only just gain valuable experience, but also to rack up their review and ratings points by taking up these easy to do jobs offered by the homeowners. So for every job, the agents can indicate what we call a minimum acceptable fee, okay, for the Grab a Guide job. So this means that when the owner posts this job, right, he'll also be required to input the fee for this job. So if the fee is too low, then there'll be no agent that will grab this job, right? Then the owner may need to increase the fee a little bit, or in the case of the agents, if he hasn't received any notification for a Grab a Guide job, that could mean that his minimum acceptable fee may be too high. So he will have to maybe adjust his service fee, in order to grab jobs on the Grab a Guide board. So ultimately, this system, it provides the infrastructure, this allows agents to take up these grab-a-guide jobs with expenses covered, even in the event that the sale between the buyer and the seller didn't go through via the sell-directed option. So agents can prove their metal and service quality to both buyers and also sellers at the same time. And when the buyer or the seller is happy with the service, they can then also provide endorse the agent and increase the credibility ratings to enhance this this agent's overall standing in the system itself. So this is a crucial element that gives users on our platform greater confidence, in our system, because dealing with property requires a high credible trust net. We're not dealing in mere hundreds or thousands, but in hundreds of thousands and even in millions. So wouldn't you want a verified, highly reviewed and rated, as well as highly endorsed agent to do it for you, right? Isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely true. But somehow I sense in your tone that you think like a work of an agent is kind of simple, right? It's not. It's actually quite tedious.
Right.
And I'll share why. So if let's switch gears a bit and look at the deals bulletin board, right? What it's all about. So the traditional way. Let me take us back a little bit, right? If we wanted to work with an agent, usually we'll probably ask our parents or our uncles, aunties, or friends, whether or not there's someone that they could recommend, hopefully trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
Or we could maybe call up the agency, or maybe we could just drive around and see the signboards and then take a picture and then basically go back, and if you can still find the numbers, give them up a call, right? And then more recently, we obviously have listing portals, but you get what I'm saying. It's still very traditional in a way, right? It's very traditional. And
by word of mouth.
Yeah, it's by word of mouth. And then the thing is, but you brought up a very, very key point, and that is for every single agent, you just don't want to hire any agent, right? Because you're going to be trusting this agent with probably your most valuable asset.
Exactly.
Either that, or you're making your biggest purchase in terms of your career, right? So this is not something that you just want to pick and choose, or just simply just pick one, or someone just recommends one with no background and no idea. So how does the deal bulletin board actually work, right? So excuse me, when deals are kind of shared on the bulletin board, when homeowners, sellers are sharing their listings on the bulletin board, agents who have registered with ProppyApp would then specialize their areas. Areas where they have specialties, where they are a bit more familiar with, and basically when they do that, they will be notified. Right, the deals bulletin board will basically beep them, and they will be notified, and they can grab the deal. But actually, in Proppy, in all agencies or all agents, they need to specify the areas of expertise. So for example, they could be a specialty agent for landed properties or condominiums, super condominiums. So they need, the more information they input into the ProppyApp, the more the AI would be, ProppyApp would be able to do the search for them, right? So, and you also touched on the minimum acceptable commission levels. And this is always really an area that homeowners and agents kind of bicker about, right? Because you need to understand that Proppy has a system that would automatically filter out jobs for agents, right? They would find the right fit from a homeowner, home seller to the particular agent. So some of these agents would then have the opportunity to say, okay, I think this is a good potential deal. The home buyer is fair. I'm going to grab this job. And then the minimum commission percentage would be applied, right? So it is in a way a win-win situation. But again, I've been an agent only for less than a year and a half, right? So it will benefit an agent like me, because Proppy will help provide leads, right? As new agents come on board, the two big things, the two main challenges are you don't have leads, you don't have property leads, right? This is definitely one of the major ones. And the second one is you don't have enough clients, right? You have to start from scratch. You have to, do cold calls, but Proppy helps me to bring leads, and that's really awesome. And that definitely adds value to me as an agent and to my livelihood. But that's all about the agent side. What about the homeowners, right? So owners now can basically filter out and decide which agents they go with, just like what you mentioned earlier. They would be able to take a look at their reviews and ratings. They would be able to see how many years that agent has been in the market for or in the industry for. And then basically they can decide then whether they want to engage and discuss about a potential deal, right? So if owners, for example, obviously owners want to pay the least amount of commissions. And that's something that we always face in the industry. Agents want the highest amount of commissions, and then buyers want to pay the least amount of commissions. And that's natural, right? But the thing is, if the owner doesn't provide a market value commission, then obviously the agent won't grab the deal. And it's just very simple, right? So, okay, just to move on, it's the agents are only willing to work if both the agent, if we have a willing seller and a willing buyer. And in between there, obviously the agent would be able to make the minimum acceptable commission, which you explained thoroughly just now, right? So just to close this all off, right? In summary, Proppy is very user-defined, and agents can basically decide which opportunity and owners can also work with and grab or ungrab or work with an agent. So it all comes together as a total solution, right? So again, I didn't want to spend too much time, but it's a very important part of the ProppyApp. Okay.
Thoroughly
so
explained. Thoroughly explained. Well done.
Thank you.
So to explain, to introduce more to you about ProppyApp to our audience tonight, this is our marketplace. Another service that we provide in ProppyApp itself, it's called the MOP, the Mortgage Optimization Plan, and the MOP will not only diagnose your mortgage and home loan repayment efficacy, but it will also prompt you to choose from three optimization plans to reduce your loan repayment tenure. So imagine it is possible to save more than 50% of your mortgage financing interest, and if you pay according to the mortgage optimization plan on time, the system will also reward the users with Proppy gems. So those gems have values, and they can be used to exchange for services in a ProppyApp. So this feature, the mortgage optimization plan, it actually isn't new in the market. This service has been around since, I think, 1999, and it was known then as a mortgage reduction strategy or service. It was a service, and users of this plan, they were normally approached by these agents who would sell their services either as a one-off payment or with retainer service fee. So that was then. Our advantage in 2021 is that the digital revolution has enabled us to migrate this entire process onto the digital platform, because the algorithm software that produces this MOP, the mortgage optimization plan, right? It is a digitally native product, right? So this means that the entire process can now be done with a swipe and a click. And also, you only need to pay your monthly subscription fee and you're good to go. So currently, this service is actually very, very affordable. It is based on a monthly subscription rate of only 1% of your monthly mortgage home loans repayment amount, but maxing out at 100 ringgit per month. So the maximum is 100 ringgit per month. Okay, so as a simple illustration, let me explain to you more. A 1 million ringgit home loan, it could take over maybe 25 to 30 years to completely fully repaid to the bank, right?
Yep.
So, however, after 30 years of monthly repayment, plus financing interest, it's compounded. So we often ended up paying more than double of the original cost of the home, over 2 million ringgit. So by utilizing MOP, live with MOP, with ProppyApp, you'll be able to diagnose, okay, and identify the most optimum, we call it, the most optimum monthly repayment amount that will reduce your repayment to 15 years. Okay, so half of the loan tenure, and also saving about 500,000 ringgit. So
Amazing.
that's simply by managing your home loans and mortgage payment each month consistently, which your ProppyApp will come in and just notify you every month.
Let me share with you also the market potential for
Right.
MOP, and for some of potential investors that's looking into what Proppy MOP can do, and why this is a huge also an opportunity and potential. Is that the current size of the mortgage market that we have right now in Malaysia is about 37.5% of our GDP, and that was in 2019. 2019,
Yeah.
and up from 22.3% in 2008. And if you compare that to 1996, it's up 13.1%, despite all the stricter lending guidelines in recent years. And if you look at the outright number, you see our housing loans outstanding right now has increased 7.5% year on year to
amazing.
Malaysian ringgit 573.63 billion ringgit, and that's about USD 131.95 billion, and that's up to March 2020 only. This is according to Bank Negara Malaysia. I did not plug this out from anywhere. This is from our Bank Negara, National Bank. So what does this show? We are actually living saddled in this debt, and a lot of us are not probably just resigned to the fact that, you know what, this is what I have got to pay to the bank. I'm paying my housing loans or my mortgage. But what if I were to
What
tell
needs to
you,
be done?
that's right, what if I were to tell you that there's actually a smarter, a simpler way to be free of this debt? And that's what we say, imagine cutting down a tree with a sickle, and that's how MOP helps you save money. And that's why, with our ProppyApp, you will find your dream house. Then when you get your loan, you can actually do your repayment with your home loans. Life is happily ever after, isn't it? So what now? I've got my house, everything is fine and dandy, and I can live riding onto the sunset. But we know, is there such a thing as happily ever after? Sean, like marriage, right? Many think that once you get married, everything is fine and dandy, la la la.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it goes
this.
downhill after that, right? So I think Vivian, we can forget about getting married. I tell you, it's better if you can just avoid it. Because that's like a house also. You buy the house, you buy the house. Hey, hello, you buy a house, you think what everything's gonna be fine. Excuse me. After you live for a while, it's not happily ever after, right? Things in the house go falling apart, correct?
Exactly.
you start having burst pipe then you start having burst plumbing and then you start having roof
That's
leaking.
why we have husbands for that one. Okay, yes, okay, actually, I do understand, I have not just a house, I have my office as well. Well, I know the reality sets in, after buying a new house, you get all kinds of problems, right? Plumbing, electricity, or okay, if I move into a house without a husband now, okay.
I don't want to say I don't want to say that, but I think seriously, sometimes husbands are just I think it's better to just go for ProppyApp,
Yes.
好麻煩啊 very 麻煩
I know,
麻烦
right?
You ask them to do one thing, they'll probably do it 2 years later on. Cut the grass. 2 years later only cut grass.
How come the husbands are talking about this? Kind of like a confession.
We are very straightforward. Nothing to hide.
Well, yes, I know.
Correct.
Okay, so in the past, right, there were I was told about this. There were bulletin boards, right, up at the neighborhood 7-Eleven. I was told. I never been through that era. So there were contacts of the service providers.
Excuse me, we
nearby,
also have
right?
never done. So what talking about? I don't understand bulletin board.
Sorry.
Please, I'm 28 years old. Okay, please.
Okay.
What's that?
I know. Okay. So actually, even for me, right, my era, our era, okay, it wasn't exactly easy to find service providers, right? For maintenance of our home or office. Um, well, remember the times when we don't have any online platform for this. We have to ask around by word of mouth, like, for the service providers, phone numbers, actually for me myself, I remember just about maybe 8 years ago, okay, 8 to 9 years, I think, when I moved into a new office. So I have to do everything on my own, okay,
Hmm.
fixing things, plumbing whatsoever.
Okay, you don't
Yes.
need to rely on the husband. You can call me. I will come straight away.
Okay, actually
Okay.
I did
Or
those
call
things
me, or
on
call
my
me.
Sean,
own,
you're in
okay.
Yeah.
you're in Penang.
Yes,
It's okay. You don't need
I
to come. It's
settled
not I
that on
send.
my own. Okay, actually I even climb on the roof to do
Aiyo,
some fixing for my
aiyo,
aircon
so 可怜 lah.
Mm.
Okay lah, not
Pathetic lah.
exactly. Yeah. So we plus when I was when I need these works to be done, urgently. I don't have anywhere to go to. I have to ask around. Ask around. Anyone might know anyone good.
Uh,
Actually, they may not even know exactly.
and they may not even be good.
Yes, exactly. They may not even be good.
Yep.
So when someone else in turn, ask me for their contacts, I was also reluctant to give them the contact number sometimes. So those were the days. ProppyCast is here. ProppyCast encapsulate all of these property related peripheral services and merchants that will make Proppy a truly all-in-one super app.
Wow, wow.
Yes,
There's just too many of it, right?
Deep
right.
stuff. Deep stuff.
Mm,
But exactly this, and I think in this current scenario that we are in also, especially in our current pandemic, it is even more pertinent for us to also be able to have our neighborhood and know that actually your neighbor might even be one of these service providers. And I think in this current situation where we have our geotagging and our AI functional geotagging, this is where we want to enhance our neighborhood economy, and we can really allow, say for example, our help one another, because we cannot travel more than 10 kilometers right now. So
yeah.
for a service provider right now, you don't even know where you are going to, shout out your business, or even why would you want to ask somebody who is over in Cheras or in Kajang, or get someone from section 70 to go all the way to Kajang, right?
Did
To
you
all the
just
way.
reveal our location?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say it was your house. You said it yourself. I didn't say. I just said Kajang. Oh, you stay in Kajang
It's a
one.
bit,
I
yeah,
say, man.
too
But
specific.
exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So neighborhood, it doesn't
Yes.
really matter where you are,
Mm.
but at the same time, even in this situation, you can actually capitalize on this cluster-based economy, neighborhood economy, and enhance, and you can be the aircon king in this area,
Mm.
or the alarm system king of this area, and this really helps enhance um, um, our neighborhood economy lah, and our
Yeah.
traders,
I
our
mean,
merchants.
and Yvonne, let me just add on really quickly, right? I
Yeah.
think the concept of neighborhood economy, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not a
Mm.
new concept at all.
No,
But I
no,
think
no.
it's a concept where maybe for Malaysians or in the Southeast Asia region, we don't see a lot of. Like, for
Mm.
example, before I came back to Malaysia, I lived in China for many, many years.
Mm.
And we used neighborhood economy like crazy, right? Everything is very app-based. So
Mm.
it was extremely convenient, because
Yeah.
if you need something, if you need a handyman or you need someone to help for a certain home improvement, you immediately can get it because everyone uses it on the app,
Mm.
right? So immediately you could find the best merchant service person, the best handyman, and they all have reviews and ratings.
Mm.
And so you will be able to make, like
Yeah.
we mentioned earlier, an
Yeah.
informed decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also for the benefit of the audience and listeners who is actually
Mhm.
in here right now, I think it's important for us to note that actually ProppyApp provides us this infrastructure. Our aim is really to assist the entire property tech ecosystem by putting all of this together. So it's related to buying a house, renting a house, or even helping you manage your mortgage, mortgage optimization plan. And at the same time, if you really need to service or maintain your house, so at the end of the day, it's really the infrastructure, and it can go beyond. Also, if you understand the infrastructure behind what we are actually putting out there, if you realize that actually it can go beyond property tech. But we are actually right now at this current stage launching this proppy app, which is more property related. So if you see all the merchants, these are also all property related lah. Anything that is in your house as well, that is required within the house. But actually we've got big dreams, and if you're looking at it, right, if you can have this system and this infrastructure that is AI driven, that is geotagged, actually if you look at it, there are going to be other potential not just property based merchants or tradesmen, correct? And there's going to be a lot more. So this is, well, we are just giving you a sneak peek and a sneak preview. All right, so wait, we got a lot. No, there's so much more. We got Proppy Wallet, we got Proppy Pal, we got Proppy Stay, we got Proppy Pro, we got Proppy XP, but not yet, right? We're just giving you a small short, sneak peek. There's a lot more that we can do. Why Chotomate?
Because I need to kind of set the stage, right? Because you're telling all the good stuff now, and it's like I have nothing to kind of compare with and everything else. So let's just hang on for one sec. Let me also kind of share
I
the
think it's
landscape.
good to bring us back down to earth, all right? Because as we talk about all this, sometimes we think, wow, you got no focus, lah. Where's your focus? At the end of the day, actually, there's a lot we can talk about. But if you want to take it back, let's take it back.
Yeah. So I think, just to allow our audience to kind of understand where we've been and where we are, where we're going to go. So I think all of us here kind of know that the current property tech platforms are basically governed or being focused by the listing portals such as iProperty and Property Guru, right? I think more recently, I think many of us here have heard of the merger. So basically, Property Guru has acquired iProperty. But the thing is that, these platforms are able to basically be in the forefront of property buy. You can buy properties, you can sell properties, you can rent properties, and all this can be done as a mobile listing app, right? And they've been around, correct me if I'm wrong, close to about 15 years or so. They started around the 2006, 2007 timeframe, and they basically disrupted, the traditional property listing methods. So that is where we used to list all our properties before that on like Yellow Pages and on like mainstream medias. I remember the days, and I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. I looked through the newspapers at the ads about what houses were for rent or for sale. So it was back in those really old days, right? But obviously, the advantages of these platforms, these listing portal platforms, is that they have the market and consumer reach, and they've basically done a good job. We need to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, but I think if you want to put things into perspective, actually, again, PropTech 1.0 is just merely putting things from paper to computer. And to put it crudely, it's just a matter of digitization process. It's more glorified classified ads. Yeah. So I mean, to be very frank, to be very frank, and yes, I agree with you. We will give credit where credit is due, but this is already for more than 16 years. In the tech world, if 16 years and you're still doing the same thing, and PropTech is still at 1.0, I think it is, with what they have right now is, yes, they have the market reach, but with little to no innovation, with the kind of technology that we are at right now with AI, geotagging, or even blockchain, it's amazing that even with just their mono-layer commercial engagement, if you look at where they were valued at, even at market valuation at that point of time, all right, at that point of time, which was back in 2016, when of course when REA took over, all right, iProperty at the time was what they have 543 million USD, okay, USD, and of course you got Property Guru, and of course you can compare that to other global giants like Zillow, which is very very popular, at USD 34 billion, and baker, the largest one in the world with 77 billion market capitalization.
Amazing.
And it just goes to show how big this potential and this market is. Even at just the mono layer commercial engagement, just the buy and sell, and just the digitization of classified ads. So my question right now is, are you telling me that with our tech-driven AI-powered feature and functions that we are putting onto our platform and creating this infrastructure, that we are not competitive enough to be valued like them, if not more? And that will be something that, we don't want to be thumping our chest, but basically it's just almost an unfair comparison to even say that, are they really a competition? Where we are providing you with the future, something that is going to go into the future, and the true power of digital revolution really goes just the mere digitization. So that's why sometimes we need to be clear that what is the difference between digitization and digital revolution? Are you just merely moving from paper to digital, or are you really capitalizing on the technologies? Because we are now living in an era of digital revolution. The power now moves over to the user, correct? So at the end, we talk about it. You are trying to enable. We are really enabling and to inform. So we started with that. Remember that ProppyApp. We want to create to make our users to be better informed, buyers and sellers. We want to give them pointed and relevant information and insights so that they can make better informed decisions now, whether they are buying, whether they are renting, whether they are selling, or even if they are investing. And this is just a few reasons why we believe ProppyApp is the future and will game change this property tech industry.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I have to say it.
I have
to say it. But obviously, what is the next question that a lot of people will answer? Laying down this business case.
The question will be, can we deliver? I think, in fact, right, we are already delivering. The app itself, our ProppyApp itself, is already up in Google Store. Actually, in the past few months, to be exact, about 8 months, in very short time, our team has been working non-stop, even during Chinese New Year, developing the app itself. And actually, the company is growing so fast. I think everyone will agree with this as well. For a successful project, most importantly, is the people behind it. Let me introduce you to the team. Our team is led by our chairman, Tunku Nakiuddin. He's a prominent businessman in Malaysia with royal ties. So he was the regent of Negeri Sembilan when his father, Tunku Jaafar, was the young Di-Pertuan Agong of Malaysia. So Tunku himself is an avid investor. He has invested into numerous forward-thinking tech companies in Malaysia and abroad. And he's also currently the chairman of Anta Healthcare, and he himself is the founding chairman of the Public Listed Companies Association of Malaysia. But actually saying that, we are not here to hero worship nor trump on personalities. No, the true strength of the team lies in the alignment towards our ethos and corporate philosophy, manifested by our founder, Mr. Lee Wilson. So I have personally known Mr. Lee for many years, actually, and I'm very amazed, at his ability to really read future trends, and he has the foresight to create this architecture and lay down the blueprint for the entire Proppy ecosystem, we call it, and infrastructure. So having known and seen personally some of Wilson's projects, it gives me great confidence to know that we are able to connect internally and externally to highly credible and capable individuals. So and tech startups, that will serve as the backbone of our project. And our another founder of Proppy, Dr. Max Chen, he has more than 27 years of experience in the software architecture design and development industry. And he has led key projects for several IT infrastructure projects for the government of Malaysia, such as KLIA IT notification system, the North-South Highway integration system. And Dr. Max has also founded numerous IT companies himself. He's currently our Chief Technology Officer and the main person behind our IT system development.
So Vivian, let's transition to our co-founders, and we also have very strong co-founders, right?
Yes.
So taking care of our legality work is our very reputable Mr. Will Fang, who is currently serving as a senior foreign counsel with Grandall Law Firm in Beijing. He's also the present chairman of the Malaysian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in China. Followed is, we also have Dato Sri William Man, who has over 30 years of corporate advisory and management consultancy work in Asia, Africa, and in Europe. He is personally a venture capitalist himself, and he specializes in areas in the field of startup funding, IPO, and international investments. Okay.
Hi, my name is Ivan, and I am the co-founder of ProppyApp.
Don't introduce himself.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but you already promised me dinner, right? So I got to go through this. But of course, jokes aside, leading our Marcoms is Ivan, and Ivan has been in leadership positions in retail marketing, managing key accounts, providing end-to-end training solutions, delivery in areas of leadership, and that's already a stake, right? Team alignment, strategic communications, and PR solutions. He's also served as Chief Communications Officer of a global crypto exchange startup in Singapore. Okay, you owe me more than dinner for that. Right?
I don't know. I cannot. I cringe whenever I hear that. Right?
Okay.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, and then kind of rounding up everything, not to forget, and heading our sales wing is Mr. Sean Yap, who is currently Malaysia country chair of the $1 Million Roundtable. He's had wide exposure in the engineering and project management industry, and he's delivered more than 60 million worth of private and government projects in the intelligent transportation system industry. And I think, Vivian, you should also kind of share what other projects that they have been doing as well.
So actually, our co-founders, they are very, very hands-on on our day-to-day operation. So our ambition stems from the fact that, we under the guidance and direction of our founders who have themselves been personally involved in the development, the growth and implementation of these incredible and groundbreaking projects and the tech startups, you may not have even heard or seen of these projects yet, the projects, but the strength of our network and the depth of our talent reach is that we have an unlimited access to these amazing resources that are creating waves in a true industrial revolution 4.0 technologies. On the other hand, our tech team have also been responsible in creating and developing the existing IT systems of our key infrastructures in Malaysia, like what you will have seen are these few projects underneath, the KLIA1, KLIA2 IT management systems, Rapid KL the North-South Highway AES IT system, and many other major national IT development programs. So what we're saying here is that our team it's not brought together by chance or by a group of young millennials. The youngest is probably me.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Ivan, okay,
me,
Ivan,
yeah,
yes.
I'm 28.
So these are not a group of young people, young millennials are jumping on the tech startup bandwagon. These are what I will call seasoned corporate professionals and investors who bring with them years of experience, failures even, and successes, technical and market know-how. So what's the next step? What does it mean to you? I would like to maybe leave you with these 3 questions. Okay, first of all, do we agree that the current property tech platforms, be it iProperty, Property Guru, well, they are merged now, right? Baker, Zillow are outdated and doesn't fully utilize 5G technology. Secondly, is our solution, as you've heard with all our features, functions, utilizing the power of AI and data analytics, are they changing the property tech landscape? And also, thirdly, can it be done? And do we have what it takes to achieve them? And if any of these 3 questions mean anything to you, then we'd also like to hear from you also. Okay, you can talk to your buddy, your friend to see that bring you here, to see how you can take advantage of our first mover advantage, because our window of opportunity is also getting smaller, and time waits for no man. So thank you to all of you to come in and listen to us today. We are really honored that you have taken time off your Saturday night to be with us, and also do connect with us on our Facebook page, or join us again for our weekly pitch session on Saturdays, and our Proppy podcast every Sunday. We are now sharing in both English and Chinese on alternate weeks. So which means tomorrow's podcast will be in Chinese, whereas next Saturday sharing session is in Chinese, and the podcast on Sunday is in English. So now today we have our co-founders here. We have Evan here. We have Sean, our transformer merchant agency, who is on the floor doing the operation. And if you have any questions, fire away. We are open for a chit chat session with you. You can also turn on your video and mic